year the Knicks get back to glory, Stephen A. has this look through the orange and blue skies. Asking me, how is Stephen A. going to handle it if Mitchell knocks out the Knicks? How is he going to handle it? Let me ask the other side. What are you going to say if the Knicks knock out Donovan Mitchell and the Cavs?
If the Knicks knock out Donovan Mitchell, the star they should have had. If the New York Knicks knock out the Cleveland Cavaliers, one of the top-rated defenses in the league. Remember that scene when the great Roy Firestone was interviewing Cuba Gooding Jr. and Jerry Maguire? I love everybody. That's what I'm going to say. I love Leon Rose. I love Scott Perry. I love Worldwide West. I love Thibodeau. I love Julius Randle dribbling the ball 7 times before he shoots. I love R.J. Barrett, who still needs to improve his three. I'm not going to have anything to say. It's going to be some touching moment. Orange and blue skies, baby.
Is it going to happen?
Orange and blue skies.
Knicks or Cavs?
Knicks, but the prize for that is they didn't go and play Milwaukee.
And then one step at a time.
Huh?
One step at a time.
I think so.
Knicks or Cavs?
In 6.
Cavs in 7.
Ooh.
And if they do win, however, it validates keeping your depth. R.J. Barrett, Obi Toppin, Quickly all had great years, and 4 first-round picks.
And if they lose, it doesn't.
So that's what's at stake. Stephen A.'s sanity and a whole lot more as we have the Kings' first playoff game since May 5th of 2006 tonight on ABC. This is what we all looked like on May 5th of 2006. Stephen A., what do you have to say about this?
Well, I have to say, I'm just marveling at how I look now compared to how I looked then. I mean, I haven't aged that much, and neither have any of us. I must say that. Now, Jalen has us all beat with the hair. Clearly, I've receded. Clearly, I've receded.
This is borrowing. This is the 21st. Light the Beam is the 21st century version of Fly the W.
Right.
Club fans know what I'm talking about. That's the only way you could have 100 years ago for an entire city and a big one. That's all you needed. You just needed the W, the block W. This is the new version of that. I get chills seeing it.
If all you kids out there are wondering how you wind up in the Hall of Fame, it is by looking at those 4 photos and still managing to make a cogent point about something else entirely. Somehow you were looking at those.
What I see is longevity. For everybody that wants to get into this industry and get into this business, is continuing to reinvent yourself. That's what I see in that picture.
Jalen was actually a member of the Knicks in that photo on May 5th of 2006. So let's talk about these Kings. Are they going to light a beam here? The whole world has disrespected them. All I've heard on Get Up every day leading into this postseason was, well, everyone wants to be 6. Everyone wants to get Sacramento. Everyone knows that's the series that you want to win. What is their path to what I think would be, despite the seeding, a big upset if they beat Golden State?
Well, playing with house money, knowing they have absolutely nothing to lose because the expectations are minimal. Understand it's not because of a lack of talent. When you look at De'Aaron Fox, who's an absolute stud, you look at Sabonis, the way that he's played. He was in the conversation for league MVP, not a top 3 candidate, but he's had a stellar year. You look at a guy like Harrison Barnes. He hasn't missed a game this year. He's a champion, former champion with Golden State. Has played all 82 games. Herder's shooting 40% from the 3. Keegan Murray shooting 41% from 3-point range. They got shooters. They got athletes. They push the ball up the floor. It's just that they're flagrantly lacking in experience. So what you got to do is go out there with a nothing-to-lose attitude and just take it to Golden State, who isn't the biggest team in the world.
Can De'Aaron Fox, in his own way, cancel out Steph Curry? Can he play him close to even? Close. Because this seems to me that Sabonis has an advantage. If we're talking about front court play and talent and what he's able to do, he's flirting with triple-doubles. It's not Jokic numbers, but I mean, it's, sort of like, okay, wait a minute. He's had that kind of season. Jalen pointed this out many times over the last few weeks. No one even knows them. Doesn't mean they're not worthy.
And also, Greeny, it looks different when your 2 top players are both left-handed. That's the same thing for your Knicks. And what ends up happening, you operate on the right side of the floor. And these actions that Sabonis and Fox continue to use get them to their strong hand. And Fox works the game as a point guard. He'll dunk on you. He's a willing 3-point shooter, but he's shooting 50 from the floor. Sabonis is shooting 60 from the floor. And Malik Monk is a wild card. So simple math for the Kings. Win 4 home games. That's their path.
I can give you some more math. This is my favorite statistic that we have going into this postseason. The Kings had the fewest games missed due to injury this entire season of any team. Their starting 5 has been together all year long. The Warriors' usual starting five has not played together since February 4th. We know about the absence of Wiggins and all the time that all of their stars, it feels like, have missed. So the whole world is writing off Sacramento. I say do so at your own risk. New York Knicks. Woj telling us earlier Julius Randle is expected to return from his sprained ankle for Game 1 today against the Cavs. He hasn't played since March 29th, averaged 25 points and 10 boards this year. Prior to his injury, he played a key role in the Knicks. Is Wiggins the missing piece for the Warriors to make another run to the finals?
Yes, but you don't just put that piece back in after missing all this time. This whole notion of walking in off the street, how many years are we going to do this? We did this with Brooklyn before, too, and people coming back from injuries. That's the concern, of course, for the Suns with KD. How much time can you miss and still be yourself? Is this the Andrew Wiggins from last year we're going to get? Really? From the finals? And the guarding the people he guarded and scoring 17 points a game?
What do you think?
I think so. I think him being out gave Kuminga more minutes to develop. Him being a slasher from the wing to get to the basket gives them an element of offense they didn't have, and multiple defense. He can defend multiple positions like he did last year against Luka and playing Jason Tatum to a standstill in the NBA Finals.
What do you say, Stephen A?
I think the thing that Wilbon has to give credit to is the experience of the Golden State Warriors. The rest of them are accustomed to being together.
Yes.
So obviously, if you got a whole bunch of missing parts that are not familiar with one another, that's a different challenge. But when the other parts are there, they're familiar with one another. Wiggins coming back into the mix, I think, is incredibly, incredibly helpful. Not to mention the fact, again, the Splash Brothers are shooting the ball.
All right, so that's our last game of 4. Will be on ABC tonight. In the meantime, Stephen A is getting set to go do Stephen A's World with a loaded show on ESPN2. So let me get a quick pick from you. Nets, Sixers, that's our early game today. How do you see the series?
Sixers in 5.
In 5.
In 5.
What say you, Mr. Wilbon?
4.
That's a sweep. Calling for the sweep.
Urgency.
I'm going gentleman's sweep with Stephen A. Sixers in 5.
Okay, so we all like the Sixers here. We will see. In the meantime, Stephen A, as I mentioned, will be doing Stephen A.
Take on the Cavs in Game 1 of their playoff series. That's per multiple reports. He missed the final 5 games of the regular season with that sprained left ankle. The two-time All-Star is officially listed as questionable headed into today's game. A tip-off set for 6 Eastern in Cleveland. Meanwhile, the NBA has 6 major awards. Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, and Giannis Antetokounmpo are the top 3 for the MVP race. Jokic looking to become the first player to win 3 straight MVPs since Larry Bird in 1986. The winners of all 6 awards will be announced starting this Monday as the playoffs roll on. Q presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Head over to geico.com to find out how much you can save. I'm Jeremy St. Louis. So happy to have you along for the ride. And what a ride it is set to be. It is a playoff weekend as the association has the postseason field now set and the game ones are all ready to go. Let's start with the Sixers, who are heavy favorites to win their series. They did not lose a game to the Brooklyn Nets this season, a perfect 4-0. A consensus MVP Joel Embiid averaged over 30 points per game against them alongside 11.5 rebounds. They'd love to do more of the same here. And popping in to give us some winning picks this hour, let's know